the announcement of Forgotten Runiverse coming onto the Ronin network. We've played how many beta experiences? I think three, and then not including rifts. And every single time it's been a cook. I know personally we've spent a lot of time playing, specifically with Logic. Not so much Mr. 1437. I don't know why, bro, but are we gonna see Mr.
What?
1437 in the
I
game
mean,
tomorrow?
I
Is that on
played
your
the
list?
first time and it was nice. It was fun. Like I can't remember who I was playing with though. We had a bunch of people in the Boot Nation Discord. I remember that back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I mean, I did tell you I'll play with you tomorrow, man. Come on now.
Yeah, we're gonna be playing all week. I think there's gonna shout out to some of the guilds that are out there. You guys are probably don't even know there's guilds forming in the Ronin network right now, that may not have a household name stamp on them right now, but maybe working towards that, especially with the Forgotten Runiverse game that's about to drop tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled for those guilds. Maybe some couple representatives in the chat throughout today. So at some point, maybe we'll bring you guys up if you want some suggestions and talk with the team. Maybe at the end of the conversation, we can open the doors for that. But I'm not going to keep it for any longer. We're about 3 minutes in. I have the lovely Helen on stage with us right now from the Forgotten Runiverse. What a time it is! There must have been so much going on, and tomorrow is finally the day that the early access goes live. So, just want to say hello and welcome to the space. Welcome to the Ronin Radio for the first time.
Hello, thank you for having me. You're right, this was an insane day. I also have Madotsuki with me here, who was hard
Oh,
at
let's
work,
bring them up.
getting so much ready today. Of course. You can imagine how the devs are doing. It's gonna be a late night for us in a good way.
Yes, in the best way possible. But no, I mean, before we get into like a lot of the questions, I guess I'm really intrigued because I've never been on a team, with a product that's launching. It's the day before or the week of. What's the kind of like feelings from your guys' side, maybe even you personally, Helen, with everything that's going on right now.
Oh, it's such a great question. Yeah, I went through this every time, I worked on Warframe for, like, 10 years, and, at every time you would launch an update or do something big like this, it would be such a slog, but you feel this united quality with all the people going through it with you that's really nice, and then when you finally release it and you get those player reactions, you see people bringing life to your game, it's all worth it. It's like a really you have to work for it, but it pays off every time, and I'm looking forward to experiencing that with a brand new game with Forgotten Universe.
Yeah, and in a brand new industry as well. That's the key right there. This is, we're in the phases right now where essentially, in a few years we could be looking back and be like, damn, look how the participation of changing the face of gaming as an industry, you know, happened. I really am that optimistic, and you'll find that out about me, Helen, for the longer that you stick
I
around in
like
this
it.
space. But that's where my mind is at. I genuinely have seen Forgotten Universe as one of those products initially, just down to the simple basis of your IP understanding. Like you guys understood the value in IP, and then also the ownership of IP and what that could do for a community of people. So it's always impressed me.
Yeah, it's a great IP. I think that if Shane, our COO, were here, he'd be saying the same thing. It was a match made in heaven with a bunch of people who really saw eye to eye and knew what expertise they had and what expertise they didn't have and leaned on each other to fill in those gaps.
Yeah. All right. And look, listen, we're going to jump into some of these questions. Of course, you guys know the game launches tomorrow. A lot of us are eager. I get like on the ground takes. I go around communities and pick up, you know, thoughts and insights and opinions from a lot of loyal Ronin gamers that are here day to day. And this is the event. This week is like, this is what we're doing. A lot of the week has been set up around that. So let's see how this goes. But it launches tomorrow. We did get the announcement, of course, the huge announcements of the console gaming is going to be is happening for Forgotten Universe. But tomorrow for the early access, if someone is just brand new in here, finding out for the first time about Forgotten Universe and they want to get involved, where is that going down for them?
All they have to do is go to game.runiverse.world. It is browser based, which means that yes, you can play it on your Samsung fridge, but we'd prefer if you played it on PC or mobile so you have a better experience.
Nice. A Samsung fridge is crazy though. Has anyone tried that?
Matto, has anyone tried that?
That's gotta be on the list though. And by the way, if you
It's
know
something
if
I've
your
heard
fridge is
Matto
on the
joke
internet,
about. It just feels so personal. I'm like, it has to be real. This has to have been tried. And if not, someone please do and tweet me. I need to see it.
yeah, yeah. I'll try and order a Ronke raid on that one. If that goes down, that's
Amazing.
gotta be there's gotta be a highlight. So yes, browser based tomorrow, of course. We've all, if you have played the beta, you've experienced that before. The access is amazing for people to be able to get on as long as they can get to the browser, and looking forward to it. The early access itself. Right, there was an article that I think was amazing. We'll actually share it in the space for those that may not have read that at this point. And there was a lot of detail in there. So we are going to expand a bit on the details in the article here. And there was a mention in there about why early access. And I think even myself, there was a slight confusion. I knew this was like full game essentially, but not a full game release. And I guess, I want to give the floor to yourself, Helen, or to Mando to explain here, like why do you guys feel you're ready for early access, and what's the goals around letting the community in now?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. So, the vision is to build the whole thing alongside the community. And to do that, we need to monitor a few things as they're released. So, that means economic features, but it also means we want to be gathering feedback the whole way. I mean, even the dungeons we're creating are based on community written lore from the Forgotten Runiverse Wizards Cult, right? So, we need to be tracking that. And you'll see a couple regions at launch. We have 5 regions at launch. There are more that we've actually already developed and are getting ready to do soon in the public eye. But first, we want to give them the polish and the testing that they need, and these things just take time. So we want to
Mhm,
do it
mhm.
responsibly alongside everybody.
Awesome. Yeah, the feedback loop in this industry is something that is can outperform our traditional gaming markets, just because the communication layers are there's so many of them, or they're so complex, or even they're just not welcomed. And that's something that we kind of are pioneering in this space. We saw it with Axie in my first instances in this industry. And I think Forgotten Runiverse is kind of taking that to another level, where you're talking about, community ideas have come to life, and there will be a playable in the game experience. Is this something that we can like really expect with the progression of Forgotten Runiverse, and that you'd like to these are like the testing phases, right? To deeply ingrain that capability into a game experience that many people might love.
Yeah, I love what you're saying. You're so right. This is the start of a new tech that I think has been needed in live service games for a long time, but hasn't been there. It is pioneering. It is a lot, and it's exciting. Now, as for whether this is more testing, it's not really more testing, and that's why we say early access. For the portion you're seeing, it is the real early game. Like, this is what we want players to experience, even when
Mhm.
they get their Nintendo Switch and play it once it's live there. But it's not everything that we envision being there. Like, we have way more regions. I think that Hugo was telling me that when we have our full regions available, the Runiverse will be like the size of Paris or something to walk around.
That's
So it's
crazy.
huge.
Oh,
Yeah.
Staff, you gotta know about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you're
huge.
gonna want a mount. You don't want to be walking
Ah,
around Paris on your foot. So if that means it's gonna be massive,
c'est vrai, vraiment.
yeah,
Hey, sorry
that's
guys,
right.
my mic was not working, so I had to switch devices. I just realized I was like talking, and then like everybody was talking over me, and I realized that Spaces
Oh,
rugged me.
Oh no! Oh
Hey,
no!
I'm back
Welcome to the
now.
Ronin
I'm here,
Radio.
everyone.
Good. I'm glad we got you in the building. Yeah, Ronin Radio is it has this knack. It's been going for 2 years, and for 2 years, it's had a beautiful way to rug people in many different ways also. So that is that is an exclusive experience that you're getting involved in. But welcome to the space, Mando. I'm glad that you are
Yeah,
here.
it's you know what it is? It's because I don't have my Ronki on. I'm into the Ronki.
That's
I
it.
didn't put it on my profile picture, so Morning Radio started rugging me.
That's it, man. Yo, hey, what Ronki wants, man, Ronki gets. But at the moment, Ronki's dead, so we're good. How do you guys feel about Ronki? Actually, like, I want to just throw that out there in the mix of this. Like, you've seen obviously the Ronki movement.
Yeah, of course,
Helen, I'm
man.
intrigued as well for your take too. But Mando, you seem enthusiastic about
Yeah.
it.
I think Rocky's hilarious. I think that it's just like, kind of spawned out more organically from the community, and then like it's just been growing. It's been great. I've seen like all like pretty much every Ronin community has been tapping into it. So you guys have been spreading everywhere. And I'm like I said, I'm into Ronki today. So
Let's go. OpenSea?
yeah, OpenSea, man.
W. Look, we're moving forwards, lads and ladies. We're moving
Yeah,
forward.
man.
Helen, your experience with Ronki.
Starting out Ronin with OpenSea, starting out with Ronki. That's such a great move. Let that be the face of everybody. Everybody who joins in Axie, join in with Ronki.
I mean,
Hey,
when Bruce sent us that art of Ronki in game, I like my jaw on the floor. I loved it. I couldn't believe our artists were like, you know what? We, as Matto said, we have to make memes come true.
yeah.
I love that image.
Boy, oh boy. We're gonna get deeper on that conversation, I think, a little bit later on. But yeah,
Oh
man, shout out to all the
boy.
Ronkies in here. Let's go dive. If you're a Ronki, you're in the space right now. Let's go dive into the Discord chat. Let's see if because Ronki no sleep, bro. So oh no, you gotta go check the Ronin Ronki chat and see where they're at. Let's bring them through. They might want to tune in and listen into what we might talk about a little later on. Talking about the things that I know the people here in Web3 want to talk about. Of course, the early access is going to open the doors for players to start accumulating that massive airdrop of Quanta, right? I think the best place to start is really, what is Quanta? I think that's the best place to start. And then we can go deeper into that conversation.
Yeah, Quanta is one of 2 in-game currencies. This one extends beyond the core game loop. So it's focused on minting items, developing your land, and claiming partner tokens, and eventually our token XP. And Matto will be able to get way into better details about land
Yeah.
development and
No.
everything.
Yeah.
I got this. So yeah, so Quanta is going to be, so essentially Quanta is like, it's the economic loop for a lot of the Web3 economy that's in the game. Because we have the game that's the core, that's kind of like, we want it to be free to play for like everybody, even if you don't have a wallet, you can enjoy it, right? But the Quanta aspect of it kind of like enhances that Web3 portion of it. So it's going to have to deal with land ownership and stuff. It's going to have to deal with any token integrations. There's going to be you're going to be dealing with Quanta with that. Minting items, you deal with Quanta. So it acts as kind of like a Web3 enabler within our ecosystem. And with that being said, we've been having everybody who's been playing our previous builds. So any beta and alpha builds that we've put out, all the mana that you've been accumulating in game just from playing through, that has been going towards that Quanta airdrop. So if you have played our previous builds, when you log in tomorrow, you will have access to Quanta right in your account. You don't have to do anything. There's no claim bind or anything. Just by logging in, you'll have some Quanta in your account. And if you haven't played our previous builds, if it's your first time playing, we're actually going to do a second Quanta airdrop. A second Quanta airdrop in the beginning of May. So as you're playing through like this, opening period that we have the game launching in, you're still going to be able to earn some Quanta as well. So
absolutely. I mean, it's the name of the game, right? We're going to get into the early access, and there's going to be a ton of opportunities to be able to earn Quanta in game, through the playing experience, and also a lot of other things, mechanics that we've not seen in the beta tests that we've played over the last year. So it really is like eyes wide open. This is a crazy reference. I don't even know if anyone's going to be on the page with this, but I remember the first time I walked into Toys R Us. Like, I don't know if that's a global thing, but my eyes
It's certainly
were
a thing here in
popping.
Canada.
Hell yes, my eyes were popping out of my skull, and that's how I'm going to feel tomorrow when playing this game. Because there's so many different avenues that you can take, and things in Ronin have a beautiful way of like naturally expanding. So you're just going to see a bunch of people take to this experience with so many options and avenues that they can go down. And what will that look like? I guess that's your guys' job, right? To kind of analyze what that looks like.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned before, like our previous builds, they didn't have nearly as much as what we have going into live service. When we did our betas and like our beta tests, we were mostly focusing on like testing specific features of the game. So like most of what people got to experience was very much a small sliver of like the larger picture. And even with those, like people were having tons of fun. People were joining our servers. They're like overloading our servers constantly as we were having to like upgrade in the middle of our test, right? Um, but even with just those small slivers, people were having fun. So I think when people see the entire pie kind of coming together, they're gonna be like really impressed at like how wide, how open the world is, how extensive the quests can get, just how deep the mechanics can go in terms of like spell building when you build your character. So like we like one additional feature that we have now that wasn't in previous builds is you can pick a specialization. So that's kind of like it's kind of like a soft class system. We don't really You're not really locked into a class. You can kind of like diversify how you want to be, but the specializations will kind of lead you, like give you certain bonuses that kind of enhance certain play styles. Like if you want to be like more of like a healer play style, you can have pick a specialization that kind of buffs more healing, abilities and gives you kind of
Okay.
like yeah. So that wasn't in the previous builds, but that's going to be in this build, and there's going to be like along with like a higher level cap, more dungeons, lots of exploration, lots of quests. It's going to be crazy when people see, I think, what's just in this early access version of the game, and that means that this is just early access. So there's still a ton more to be added that's down the line that's on our roadmap. And I think that even when people just seeing what we have on the plate right now, it's going to astonish people. And I'm really excited for what's ahead.
Yeah. Are you guys gonna be in the game too? Like you
Oh,
have
definitely.
missions to be running around playing, right?
Oh, yeah. I actually got to play a little bit today because it was.
Yeah,
Nice.
we had some good tests today.
Yeah, we're having some good
I'm
tests
gonna
today.
keep my eyes
I've been
out.
having fun.
I'm gonna keep my eyes out for sure. We're gonna be on stream too, so if I see you, I'm gonna probably be trying to reach out. You can pop through to the
Yeah.
stream, see how things are
Say
going. But
hi.
yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I wonder, Logic, you are the FR representative, and that's just been endorsed. But for Ronin Radio, this is the min maxer right here. For me, Logic, when it comes to these types of games and something that you know, he vibes with, he likes, is definitely one of these. This is that project, and I wonder what you're thinking right now as well. We find out a little bit about Quanta. We kind of understand it a bit. I wonder if you have questions about, you know what maybe is going to go down tomorrow, especially you. I know you, bro, you're going to be on the quanta hunt, so I wonder if you got any questions right now.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think like to me, how I kind of put it in my head is like Quanta is this like sort of like SLP thing, right? Like kind of comparing it to Axie. But I could be 100% wrong on this. But yeah, in my head, it's like an SLP thing. I play the game, I level up, I get my equipment, I get my spells, I burn my extra spells and equipment, much like what we did in the last previous test, and get my mana that way and start using up my mana in the temple. So I think I'm pretty confident in the game. Like I really like the open world, to be honest. I think that
Mhm.
what kind of sold me um really big on the current iteration now, because the previous iteration, right, like we've talked about this before, like I wasn't a huge fan of like instances, because to me it didn't feel like a real world, but now it actually feels like a real world. My min max head goes like, I'm just gonna speed run it, right? I'm gonna speed run it all the way to the top of the level. Because like the better gear you have, the better spells you have, the more mana you usually earn. And I mean, we saw that on the last play test. And I want to make sure I use my mana. I have a ring, I need to tap it every day. And
Yeah.
maybe hopefully you guys do some auto tap or something, so I don't have to click it.
What I think you're gonna have a lot of fun with? I think you're gonna have a lot of fun with the land aspect because that's something that we haven't really had a chance for people to really explore previously. We kind of get like a little taste of it, but not really like actually experiencing mechanics of people visiting your land, using the facilities that you build on your land, and earning quanta, like earning yield as people use your land. I think you have like nobody's really experienced that. I think I haven't even experienced it even from internal testing because it's a lot different doing it with like, just kind of like a test build where you can build your own house and like having actual people visit your land in an MMO and kind of like building a community together alongside your other players. Like
Mhm.
that's something that I'm really excited for that I can't even test for internally. I need other players so I can build my neighborhood with other players and have that experience,
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I
this
was
is what
actually
about the
talking
lot.
to Ray VZ earlier today.
Ray
Ah,
In,
Ray
Easy,
Beezy.
yeah, shout out Ray VZ. I know he's a Blue Wizard Capital Maxi enthusiast, and
the Baron of the Blue Wizard Bastion.
yes, yes,
know?
yes, yeah. We were
Yo,
cutting
that
it up
alliteration did
earlier
something to
in
me right
the
there. I can't lie.
yeah, we were cutting it up earlier in the People of Moses, and he's like, dude, like I have so much land. What I actually need is like people to use them. And he was mentioning how like having land is actually the best thing, especially if you're trying to min-max the game, because he said something along the lines of resources in the game gets randomized in the open world. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's actually like such a huge case for land because land lets you pick, right? Land lets you pick
Yeah.
what resource you can mine and what resources you can get. So that's truly like the min-max way to get your resources to be able to craft the stuff you want to craft. And Ray, I mean, if you're here, I mean, I'll probably just DM him like, Ray, let me in, bro. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to farm in your land.
Well,
Yeah, Bray has a ton of land.
he had
there was
a
actually wars going on, land wars. I don't like to to.
wait, what?
There's just land wars. There is. I swear to you, right? If you go right now to the Ronin marketplace and you check the Blue Bastion, right? The floor price is totally different from any of the other wizard areas, and
Oh,
it is
yes.
because Ray Veezy. I know this broski, and he's probably going to hate me for saying this here as well, for more people to find out. But like, yeah, he wants more of the Blue Bastion. The person knows he wants more of the Blue Bastion, and the floor is not coming down. So you'll see it.
Wild.
Yeah. So I mean, hey, yo, we love it. We love a bit of drama in the world. The Runiverse has its own politics, ladies and gentlemen. But these are like early signs for me, right? These are early signs for me. One on like the passion element of it, and the real sense of identity that people get with this IP and getting involved in this game. Because why Blue Bastion, right? Like, there's got to be a story behind it for Ravezi and maybe for this other person too. But also just how like it's really going to reflect a true economy. I genuinely get that feeling around it. Some games, when it turns to MMO, it's like this is our first time hearing about it. This is a world that we don't know, and I feel like we've got to the point, at least if you've been diving into the access, of understanding Runiverse as well, the lore. And I know, Helen, this is probably somewhere where you absolutely specialize, and it's probably a little bit early in the conversation, but I think it's the perfect segue to go into that, really the story of the Runiverse, well, itself. At what point in
Yeah.
time? This is my one question. This might be hard actually, but it keeps ringing a bell in my head, and I have to get it out here. At what point of time in the Runiverse story are we entering this early access game? Like, if there was a timeline of, I mean, if you have the knowledge of what's to come, like if there was a timeline of all that has existed in the Runiverse, like where are we entering in at this point of the story?
I love your questions. That is such a good one. Happy to dive into that. I just have to also say credit to Ray Veezy because the other day, just in the Forgotten Runiverse Discord channel, he had an impromptu voice call, I think mostly to give his clan some help in organizing their own land. And so I say clan, we have a different term in Web3, but it turned into a bigger thing with a bunch of wizards just tuning in, and Ray started guiding a bunch of people. Devs jumped in, and I think it didn't, like, obviously it helped people with their land management, but it also gave the dev team this huge boost of being like, whoa, this is what we envisioned when we designed this system. And here people are having like city planning meetings and getting excited. And so that was a great boost for them as they got into that final phase of development here before
Nice.
release. So props to Ray Veezy. As for the story of the game, you're going to come into the game at a point where you're dealing with the quantum shadow taking over the Forgotten Runiverse. Much of the game's story is going to focus on that. It's this dark force that has erased memories, and the longer it remains, the more difficult it becomes for anybody to recall what was lost. So even wizards have been forgotten. And when you start the game, you're a wizard coming out of a rift from this alternate reality called the Forgotten back into physical reality itself, where you're going to help wizards in this mission of bringing everything back. So we're going to give you some clues in our early quests about where this quantum shadow is coming from, but that will expand over time as we continue to release updates. And those who are familiar
Nice.
with the original Forgotten Runes Wizards Cult IP will probably have some guesses about what's causing the
Yeah.
quantum shadow.
Yeah, yeah.
I gotta ask some questions, man. It's cool. Go ahead, Mando. I'm sorry to cut you out.
Go for it. Oh, I was gonna say that the narration also, like the story narrative, leads to the fact that the game will be developing. So as the quantum shadow gets pushed back, like it's like you play an active role in pushing this quantum shadow back while playing through.
Oh,
And as that happens, updates come and they kind of release new areas. So more areas of the universe start being expanded that you can start exploring and such because that quantum shadow is being pushed back, right? So
W. W.
mhm.
Listen, I'm sometimes I love our digital community. I love our digital capabilities. But if we were in person right now, I would give the perfect. You know when you do the dap up when you dap someone up and it's like the perfect
Yeah,
echo
yeah,
clap
yeah.
sound. I would dap every single one of your team up like that right now because you guys get it. It's rough out here in these streets of Web3 gaming, right? But this Forgotten Runiverse has come in, and since then they've just displayed constantly over and over again that you guys you get it, man. There's something larger here. The fact that you tie in the quantum rift, like moving back with the unveiling of the game and it making it, as the players are part of that process is dope. That's props for that one. I know we lost Helen. Helen fell into the rift. We have to we have
It's all right.
yeah.
It's all right. We can pull it back.
We pulled her out of the rift.
Thank goodness you
Like,
got me.
yeah. Oh, that was a close one. That was whew, yo. All right, let's get back
Scary.
on track before that they come back and try to take our guests away again. You talked about it though. Land, the min maxers are going to love it. The materials that can be farmed on there is amazing, and on top of that, you're incentivized because Quanta is going to be earned through other people using your land. For example, there is this other element of the personalization, and I have a homestead. I want to speak on behalf of a lot of people right now. Big shout out to Brian. Right, Brian is one of the community members in the Ronin community that you guys may have seen earlier today. He put together a June dashboard on the land NFTs. He's been working on it recently, and I think he's been doing a great job. But he displayed some of the data of land NFTs currently, and today you guys had of the year so far, 2025, the largest trading volume day for land NFTs itself. 115 sales. 23,000 US dollars in total spend on land today. So I think there's a lot of people who are in the realm of speculation right now, trying to understand, maybe about to purchase still, and that FOMO is really kicking in before the game launches. But like in your words, why would you have a land plot, even if it is just a homestead, or we go all the way to the extent of villages and towns and so on? I think Mando,
I
I'm gonna
want
shoot
to
that
have my
question.
own.
Helen,
Yeah.
actually, Helen, beautiful. Came back from the realm where you may
Yeah,
may
back
have
from the
seen
realm
the
of
other
the
side.
forgotten.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I'm getting really into the city planning with others who are around me element. Like Matto's my neighbor. I'm just excited that I'm going to work with someone I adore to develop our city the way we want, and that I'm part of that. Like not just for resource acquisition and quanta and all those things, but also because I don't know, we can coordinate on what kind of buildings we need, what's the
Yeah.
style. I'm just interested in the creative element personally. Matto?
I think, yeah, I think what I'm going to appreciate is all the utility that comes with land. I think you touched on it a bit earlier that resources are going to be randomized in the open world. So in order to have like a consistent like flow of resources, you're going to need to have like a plot of land, or at least a friend who has a plot of land that has a resource that you need, because not all plots have the same resource. So different regions in the Runiverse have different resources, right? Like if you go to the sand, you're like if you have a region in the sand, you're probably going to have like regions that are most likely to have sand as a resource on your land, right? So stuff like that. So it's kind of like they take that into account. So I'm really excited about the idea of like having more of like a base where I can either have resources or facilities that I can build that players can use that it can build that it can like forge items with. So like there aren't any real NPC shops in the game. Everything is player owned. So like that includes like like every item is made by another player. You're not going to buy an item from like a shop owner or whatever, an NPC.
Oh, that's
So
fire.
yeah, exactly. So like we want to have the game's economy is going to be centered around the players creating the game's economy. So right from the start, you'll have like mage workshops and forges where people can create spells and create their and craft their equipment. And so as a landowner, you can put those facilities on your plot of land and you can stuff them up with recipes, which are kind of like they are the guidelines for people to build those to build those equipment, provided they bring the materials for it. And so every time somebody builds on your plot of land, you get a yield, you get quantity yield from it. So you're going to want to stuff your plot of land with lots of high end recipes that people can build, like all the best like staves and the best armors and stuff. So I'm really excited for that. I think that seeing that player economy like evolve organically, where people start building their lands with that in mind, with other players in mind, is going to be really cool.
Absolutely. I've actually got a question on the expansion of that and kind of what things look like. But first, I want to say this: Mr. Stark over here, he knows about dealing with lots of people in Web3 games. I don't know, Stark. Are you looking at Forgotten Runiverse as maybe an opportunity to put some of your friends into another game experience where their time can really go towards something and something large as well? Because it's not like one or two people. We're talking a decent amount of people coming through to a game. Are you licking your lips at the opportunity of Forgotten Runiverse right now?
Basically I had in 2021 I had a lot of scholars. That's why Gila's saying that, for those who don't know. And then as things died down, all of those that stuck around, I just became more like a community builder in that sense, but while still having scholars. And so those strengths definitely play into something like this, and I'll definitely be looking into it, especially because I don't own enough land to be contemplating doing that myself, but I have a lot of friends that have a lot of land. So like even Ray Beasley, we were talking, and we were going back and forth about even when you start anyone starting out a guild or starting out a community, it's very important. It's like your first seeds or how you start out, or the first people you recruit. It might not seem like much, especially when you're not quite, let's say you're struggling to get a few people to join you. I think it's very important to remember that the first people that join you will make the culture of your guild. So like pick carefully and be patient, and then like don't rush it just because it's at the start. And then once you have 10, 20 people and it's like a solid block, then the rest will just happen organically on its own. So excited to be looking at that.
Nice.
Talking of the man himself, Ray Bees is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Yo, we've been singing your praises a little bit here, Ray Bees.
Go Ray.
You're about to be activated, bro.
What's up?
I know you're about to be activated.
Hello. Hey, Helen. Matt out. Shout out to everybody. It's the best around. Ronin Radio, no doubt. Make sure you like, subscribe. I don't know if you got a YouTube channel yet, but yeah, just definitely follow these peeps.
Welcome to the YouTube. Subscribe because Ray Bees just said it. Let's go.
I guess so, right? But yeah, Stark. When it comes to me setting up, it's been a long marinate, so not even a cook yet, because it's been months before even the migration to Ronin. And congrats on that too, everyone at the team, by Sonic and Magic Machine. It's looking great. But when it comes to how many plots I own, it's in the multiple hundreds. So, and it's all concentrated mainly with Blue Wizard Bastion plots. So that's one of the 4 capital cities. So I'm majority holder in every district of the Blue Wizard Bastion, across both homesteads and settlements. So So it's going to be a one-stop shop for everyone to not run around like a chicken with their head cut off, which I'm usually saying these days. Because when if you did play the tests, you'll realize the uphill battle you have with dodging mobs or enemies on the map to fast travel to different locations, using your mount, and maybe not having enough gold to travel. So there's going to be a lot of friction when it comes to playing the game, but it shouldn't uh, turn anyone away because, for one, the lore and the art and the excitement of partying up with people and setting up your builds with different spells and armor just to defeat dungeons is so much fun in itself that you might not even care about all this, quote unquote friction when playing the game. And I'm sure I'm just preaching to anyone who's played the game. So, but overall, yeah, I saw an opportunity, and I've been around since before, you know, Ronin, Axie OG, 2018. Full circle. We're still here, always been here, and I just was so hyped for an MMO to be out. Although there are other MMOs on Ronin, but Forgotten Runiverse is just it's a beast in its own.
You can say it, bro.
So,
I'll say it.
what do you want to say?
Forgotten
Oh,
Runiverse is the fucking top dog right now, bro. We gonna see tomorrow for sure.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, MMOs. Yeah, this is the one that I've been waiting for a minute now. I don't really like to play the favorites out here, but this is my favorite. I went and bought a wizard, ladies and gentlemen. My wizard is literally a baked bean with a human body. I'm so gassed to get my Kooplin in the game. I'm not joking, bro.
The baked
So,
bean.
he is, bro. That's his law. I'm gonna inscribe on the blockchain that he was a Heinz baked bean, and he was dropped on the kitchen floor, and he fell through the quantum realm, bro. Like that's the story.
Hey, if that's the lore you want, write
And
it out.
Yo,
Go,
and
you're
he,
a wizard.
yeah. But yeah, it was pretty
Shit.
cool. Just the other day, I know Helen was mentioning it, but yeah, I just popped up into the Forgotten Rune server. The culture there has been brewing, and there's a lot of Ronin network effect that's been taking place over the last couple of. Big shout out to Ronin Radio for facilitating the attention when it comes to directing all of the Ronkies and the Ronin heads, however you want to call them these days, however the kids are calling them. But yeah, there was I was just sharing with people how to navigate the maps, because there's the three different types of maps associated with Forgotten Runes, and I just made a video today. I'm going to upload it to my YouTube channel, and I'm going to share it. So stay tuned. Just on the back of the global launch. So I guess if you did have a land, or even if you're just trying to understand the maps and how expansive it is, and maybe just start learning and getting familiar with the names, so you're not just running around, not knowing where you're at. It could help. It's a short and sweet one, but something that the Rome GG guild that I founded and am spearheading with Forgotten Runes as the main game, which everyone's invited. You're willing to join. All wizards are welcome. No discrimination of color. So, Blue Wizard Bastion specializes in all colors. So, I'm going to share that, and it'll make its rounds. And I'm just glad to be a part of a wider community. So,
No,
here to help.
Yeah, man. Stick around over this convo because definitely some insight. It opened
For
up
sure.
the pathway that I'm looking at right now. We really are talking about something that's relative to what you guys are going to be doing. Blue Bastion City is going to have some kind of operation that is going down, and it may become a center point, of the early game, just because of the people. And I think that ties in so well with the idea of Web3, but also just the design that you guys are intending to see from the game, which is player built economies, right? And it's so interesting how you take a game experience, right? You go into the game and you do the steps that are necessary as a player to make things happen, but you have to take, yourself out of the game to kind of promote, market yourself, and be in the environment to draw the attention of the other players into your effect in game. And I think that's actually going to create a really cool loop of like new community members finding each other, the community growing, the necessity to become a part of the community for somebody just joining and figuring these things out. And I just it's super impressive when I just think about it on paper, and to see it tomorrow. I'm excited, so I understand that you guys as a team, this is definitely going to be I will preempt and be again optimistic. I think this will be a really proud moment for you guys as we see the game develop and expand. So, but thank you guys for being here. This is hot. But now we got to get into the stuff, the juicy stuff. Reward the people that have been here and are here live right now, and all of those that are taking the time to tune in after the fact. But I did mention it, and it was a little push, but we'll be careful here. But I gotta dig for some alpha. I promised the lads and ladies that I would. The alpha I'm digging for right now, though, is the mention about the I'm gonna do it. I'm really gonna do it. But
Oh,
partner tokens, right? What is this conversation? What does this mean? Partnered tokens in the game. Just as a brief statement, right? At some point, Quanta, or is it Mana? It might be Mana, right? Correct me where
no, it's
wherever I'm
Quanta.
wrong.
You're right. It's Quanta.
Okay, yeah, that's even better. Oh my good gosh. Quanta at some point will be redeemable or tradable for some partnered tokens in quotations. We don't know which they are, and I know that you guys have a marketing plan to release that however you will. But for the people here on Ronin Radio today, is there any little teasing we can do here to maybe put that speculation in a direction? Or should we just fuck them up and keep the speculation as broad as possible? But I'm really interested to understand how you guys, will really do this, and maybe some deeper questions about how those then partner tokens will interact in game.
Yeah, so I think the best way to approach this would be, we have partners that are lined up right now. We're very excited to talk about them, but not just quite yet. But what you can expect is you will be able to earn their token in game via Quanta. It's going to be kind of like a bidding system. So you're going to be able to bid your Quanta for an amount of their token that you can earn, and you're also going to be able to use their token for buying mana, which is our premium in-game currency. So it will kind of go like both ways. You'll be able to earn and be able to spend their token in our game. And I think this is a great way, obviously, to include other communities in our game. It's a great way to expand, our player base. A great way to kind of give an olive branch to other player bases. Kind of like show that we our interoperability in Web3. This is something that you won't really be able to have this kind of access where games kind of cross collaborate this way in like a Web2 game, right? Where you're able to kind of like spend premium currency from Web2 game into another Web2 game. That doesn't really happen, right? So it's like, I think it's a really cool start to doing this kind of thing. And I also think that, with this, we're going to be able to kind of like also see, like simulate, kind of like soft simulate how XP will actually, which is going to be our token, how XP will actually be utilized in our game, right? So we kind of like soft simulate that and gather data so we can make sure that when we do our launch, that it's integrated into the game as seamlessly as possible, right? So I think it's a win-win for everybody. It's a win for our team. It's a win for all the teams that we're partnering with. And, it's kind of like a rising tide brings all boats up,
Yeah. I'm also going to say this as well. Like, if you guys want to get crazy on the timeline and speculate however and where you can, then please do. But I think, there's some lines. Maybe you could do some reading, and I don't even want to say my prediction.
Yes, yeah. Soon after launch.
Soon after launch.
I'm like hard squeezing my whole head right now because I want to scream and shout about like one partner that I think should happen, but we will see. We will see.
We're open to suggestions. We're open to suggestions.
Okay, at this point, and I think it's a great time to turn towards Mr. 1437 and maybe some of the other guys up here. You got any suggestions? Partner tokens? How would that work?
What are you You're the one who was squeezing your head, so you go first.
You want me to go first?
I think we know what you're going to say.
Do we? Is it blue?
No, it can't be blue. Nothing's blue on this network.
I was going to ask about tribesters.
Oh man! All right, let's wrap it up. Let's shut it down. Shut it down.
I should have done it, bro.
Show's over.
No, shout out to everybody knows. It is what
You're a savage, bro. You're a savage.
I'm talking about Ronky, bro. Ronky has to be in. I'm sorry, but Demon, yeah, can you take the wheel for a sec? I need to go.
I
discipline
wasn't
myself.
aware we were at a funeral. Gila. All right.
Sorry,
Anyway,
I'm disciplining myself for like 2 minutes. I'll be back.
I just want to say first off, congratulations, guys. You made it this far, which is really tough in this space, right? Building for all these years and making sure to manage a budget and like getting a proper product out, work on your IP. I feel like you guys have done everything the right way up until now. As a spectator, what I would like to ask, actually, as someone who likes to know about the past of teams, which helps me know where they're headed as well. What would you say is like the most difficult part of your journey so far?
It's a great question. I only started in January, so I can give my short-term point of view, but Matto would be better for all the years of development that this game's been through. If you want to take it away first, Matto. But I see Matto's still muted, so I can go first. So I joined in January, and for me, as someone who has been watching Web3 from the sidelines a lot, like big Vitalik Buterin fan, I've just been conceptually very intrigued, but I didn't get into the scene until I started here. And thank you, Matto, for onboarding me. Huge. So the learning curve was really big for me, but I just feel lucky to have a team of really great people who was so awesome at teaching me and welcoming me with open arms. All the people I've met in this space have been really awesome, creative people, and I love it. So it's been a pleasure, Matto.
Yeah, hopefully Matto's in the building. I mean, I was disciplining
That's what
myself.
I'm
Matto,
saying.
you didn't have to discipline yourself as well, bro. It was all me. It was all me, bro.
The quantum shadow.
Maybe my question got him in his feels, so he's like
That
Yeah,
could
he-
be.
sobbing right now. He's like,
I
oh
mean,
man,
like,
all those
yeah.
years of hard work. Finally, we're here, releasing the
Like-
product.
Logic did get rugged a little bit ago as well, and like we said, it's running ready, so I wouldn't put it past it. If we can get Matto back up here, we definitely will. But yeah, I didn't know that it was so short, Helen. It feels like since you've arrived, there's been a ton of content, that you've been involved with yourself, and I felt like it was much longer than that. But what a time to come in as well, just the
Yeah, it's
big year.
Absolutely. I think that there are great things in store for Web3. It's coming out of Web 2, I can certainly see a huge need. So I'm really happy to be a part of this.
Everybody, I'm back.
pulled him
I'm
out.
back
We
from the
pulled him out.
vlog.
Let's go.
What I missed.
Welcome, Matto. The quantum shadow
Yeah.
love you too.
Yeah, what I missed. What I missed.
Yeah, we were asking, what would you say was like the most difficult part of your journey so far, like as an individual or as a team?
The most difficult part of our journey. Let's see. I want to say most difficult part of the journey was most likely, I think in the early stages when we were still doing like some of our betas, and I think it's just so much that goes into like even just having like a week open for like a beta, and there was so much of an influx of players coming in that like our servers were constantly being hammered, and we would have to like constantly upgrade our servers and such. And I think that it was like a very like tense moment where there was like it was almost like we realized that we weren't even really meeting, like there was such a huge demand and we didn't have the capacity for it. But even with on the fly, our team was really good. Our dev team was really good with kind of pushing upgrades and pushing updates in a manner that like still was able to keep the game with minimal disruptions during those weeks. So I think like the earlier beta days, like probably like when we first came into Ronin, and maybe even the alpha that we did before coming into Ronin, I think those were very tense. But like I think that we've definitely like learned and grown a lot since then. We've had a lot of like those tests have helped us a lot with kind of like understanding where we need to improve our server infrastructure and stuff. So I'm really excited for tomorrow where people are able to play. Yeah.
Matt, I just want to say, for most people or most games, if you have that much influx of players, they would say that's their proudest achievement.
No, it's a great achievement.
I'm just
no
like,
worries.
that's insane that this is like your most difficult part of your
No,
journey was like you just had too many players.
yeah. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, it is a great achievement, but when you're in the hot seat of actually, like, like being in the dev seat and like recognizing that, like, oh man, like, things are a bit on fire. We need to kind of like, get things like all the devs on board, make sure the community is like well communicated and such, right? Like, there's a lot of moving parts in that equation, and like it's stressful, but like actually getting it down packed right. Like I'm proud that we're able to get it down packed right, but during the moment, it's definitely difficult to deal with.
Nah, you guys are killing it, man. It's awesome, and I'm very excited to play our game tomorrow
Yeah.
and with Gila and everybody. I think we're all planning to stream it as well and just hang out. See your cook.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited to see you in the Runiverse too.
Oh yeah, we might see another side of Mr. 1437, bro. I don't know, he might come out. The wizard in you might come out tomorrow, bro. Are you ready for that? I'm gonna get you on OpenSea buying a wizard tomorrow. Watch. You heard
Nah,
it
I
here
want
first.
to be a Ronke. Can we get a Ronke in there?
Yeah, and then maybe your wishes may come true. Yeah, if you are a wizard, after all, you could just make it happen. To be honest, so yeah, we will see. We've got Hugo joining us up here in the space as well. I want to give a big shout out to Hugo as well. This is that time. Lead marketing lead at Forgotten Runiverse. It is a huge week, and there's probably so much. So for you to be here, man, I appreciate you taking the time, and also for being with us and helping us set this up today. I think it's been a great conversation even up to this point. There's maybe one or two things we could still touch on, but mainly, we wanted to share the excitement for the game tomorrow. And I'm sure the rest of the Ronin community kind of shares that and have been looking forward to this specific game launch as something that they're waiting to happen. So tomorrow will be a great day on Ronin. I believe that.
Yeah, thank you so much for hosting, and shout out to Helen and Matto from the team. When the partner token stuff came up, I was like gasping. I was like, please God, don't make me
It's
have
like,
to
please.
fire anyone.
Yeah.
Just kidding. But no, it's a really exciting time for sure. I just posted this long this long tweet about how this game is like, the like a little bit of a childhood dream, playing all these Super Nintendo JRPGs, and then later in life playing, RuneScape and WoW and all these other MMOs and free to plays. And it's just like the fact that we're launching, this pixel MMORPG in 2025. Like, I wish I could tell, younger me, like, holy shit, we made it, man. We did it.
Yeah.
And we're doing it alongside such a great community and such a great team. Like, yeah, it's gonna be a wild ride. It's gonna be a long ride, and whether tomorrow goes flawlessly or there's a few early access hiccups, MMOs are kind of kind of notorious for that. Yeah, we're gonna be here and we're gonna be cooking, making sure everything's the best it absolutely can be for everybody. It's a really deep game already as of early access, and honestly, I couldn't be more excited to see everyone's reception to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man, you guys should, like we said, absolutely should be proud of yourselves. And we're really, like, I feel proud as well. Like, as a Ronin faithful for so many years, like, when we get projects of like real quality and building the way that you guys have even prior to being on Ronin, there is a sense of pride around it. So tomorrow's an important day for the whole network ultimately. So the
Yeah, you
main,
you were asking about challenges, right? And
yeah,
both Helen and Matto had like really good answers. I think one of the challenges for me um that I've seen is just like the expectation that a lot of people in gaming have on the Web3 side. Like, we've spent years on uh you know some top free to play games on the Web2 side, and the expectations from that crowd are very different. And so when you spend 3 years building, a lot of people are like, where the hell's your game? But if you told like a dev, oh, we've been building for 3 years on the Web2 side, they'd be like, oh, so you have like another five to go. And a lot of the times that would be the case. Um, so for the sheer scale of what we've been able to accomplish in 3 years, when it comes to legitimately building an MMORPG in the most true and pure sense, it's unbelievable what these devs have accomplished so quickly.
yeah,
I've been it my entire professional life, and there's bigger teams at huge companies that have not made it this far. So,
Yeah.
yeah, just shout out to the team.
I was gonna say, yeah, shout out to Bysonic as well, because those are the guys building the game, correct?
Yeah, and I think we definitely have to give Forgotten Ruins their flowers too. They've built an IP that is so incredibly
Of
compelling and
course,
has
yeah.
an entire community that wanted this. So I mean, we also wouldn't be here without them. So shout out to them as
100%.
well.
It's the essence of this environment, right? This industry is about collaboration, and I think what will be beautiful is to see that the game around its player built economy ethos actually, lives and breathes that too. So the very thing that brought it to life is what it breathes into others, which is, you can hire me for some quotes if you guys want at any point. But amazing stuff. Listen, I'm just ready to get into the game experience. It's 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, which gives me time to get in the Ronin gym, get my shit ready. Might do a little preparation montage. I don't know, turn into Zio for a day. Shout out to Zio for his content. But I want to open the floor up now, really and truly, to the rest of the community. If you guys are in here, if you do have some questions, maybe you can want to jump up and join, and then maybe ask one or two of those. But the last question that I'm going to fire off from our side is really to do with the intention behind early access. There is this support and well, feedback loop that is desired by you guys, and I think the best way to kind of initiate that is to communicate, a best case scenarios from the team themselves, right? Well, how can us as players and Ronin community members contribute towards giving valuable feedback to you guys throughout this next phase of Forgotten Runiverse development?
I love this. I totally believe that what makes or breaks a game is a game developer's openness to player feedback. So I also appreciate your willingness to give feedback. That's what makes the difference. We have an in game reporting feature now that I want to highlight. And if you can make a point of reporting any really big bugs you find, including screenshots, saying what browser you were using, what platform you were using, like the more receipts, the better. Were you playing solo or in a group? Those kinds of things. We'll also put out a proper guide for submitting great bug reports, but that's a huge help to us. And honestly, just we'll be watching what you say on Discord, on X, everywhere, because you guys have a unique lens that developers can lose in the creation process. Like we can get too familiar with a product. So even something as simple as saying, hey, this UI confused me, that can mean a huge quality of life improvement for everybody. So we'll look for that. And we'll keep watching for stories written about wizards as well. So all of you who are getting wizards will be reading your pages in the book of lore to add to our game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yo, my baked bean story arc is coming thick and fast.
I'm watching.
Yo, it's gonna happen, bro. I'm saying I'm gonna bring this baked bean to life.
Not to walk over you there, but just reminded me, and I'm so honored to have on the promo art my Tengu, my Chronomancer
Shout
Takao
out
of
to
the
David
Astral
as
Plane.
well, bro.
That was pretty dope. I was so totally caught off guard by that. So shout out to the team.
Thank
Yeah.
you. That was a Matto.
Yeah,
GG's, man.
yeah.
Mano,
I
you
wanted
seem like you've
to.
been cooking, bro. You brought Helen on board. You putting these pieces in. Yeah, you've
I,
been cooking,
I
man.
didn't bring Helen on board. That's not. I can't take credit for that. That was Hugo.
Oh, hey,
But
for the
yeah.
powers there.
Yeah, but I will say that yeah, like I think the community has been doing such a good job at kind of like showing how much you guys love the game and showing how much you guys like really love the characters that you're building, all the lore that you're making and stuff. So it's like we really want to showcase like this game is made for like the Forgotten Runes IP and for the Forgotten Runes community. So like if there's people in the community who show that they really like care, they're here to play, they're here to integrate with everybody, they're here to make stories with us and build this world together with us. That's what the project's all about. So we just wanted to showcase like Ray, you've been doing such a good job. Like you've been doing a great job coming in and like just showing how much you love like Forgotten Runes just right from the get-go. So it's like we had to go like when it came to like time to like showcasing community wizards, I definitely had you on my list for like I want to show Ray some love. I want to make sure that everyone knows how like all the great work that's being done in here, and just in general, there's tons of more opportunities in marketing within the game and such to just include characters that people are building. So we're always on the lookout for people who are showing that they care about their wizard, so that we can showcase them in the game because they're building the world together with us. It's a collaborative effort.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Many a thing to look forward in and behind the portal. Are you ready to enter it tomorrow? We will see. I'm expecting a large turnout, and we always say this. Remember, we were supposed to have an event that was literally called Break the Runiverse. In one way, I really hope we don't break the Runiverse tomorrow because I want to play. I want to play all day and potentially all night. But at the same time, I want to see as many Ronin in this game tomorrow as possible. But
Me
I'm
too,
gonna
man.
say,
Me
yeah,
too.
like top tier, top of my list, an amazing team. You guys have been an awesome addition to this space, and I want to thank you individually. Mado, Hugo, Helen. Thank you guys for coming through and supporting the show, being a part of it, and being able to talk with us about the launch tomorrow. So hopefully the audience got their alpha. Little bits here. The speculation is still wildly available. I believe your representation on the timeline may influence some outcomes. I've been telling Ronin about their power for 2 years, ladies and gentlemen. Your voice means something. But yeah, ultimately, thank you guys to the team for being here today, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's launch.
Yeah, man. Thank you for hosting us. Looking forward to see all of you in the Runiverse, man.
Yes, sir.
This has been great. You're a great host. You asked such great questions, and we had a really good time here. See you in the Rift, or sorry, the Runiverse tomorrow.
Absolutely. Much love. Thank you again, Hugo, as well.
Thank you. Yep. Cheers, guys.
Like,
Word. Yeah, that's me tomorrow. My day is sorted. I don't have to schedule anything but to be playing this game. We're gonna stream it, right, lads? We're gonna stream it. Are we down? Even
Yes, of course.
you picking this
Bro,
game?
this is literally the worst rug. Gila, you're supposed to rug the space, bro.
No.
Like-
No. I don't want a rug. I still have bits and pieces here.
Oh,
to
okay.
display.
Of course we're playing. Yeah, I already told you we're playing earlier. Weren't you listening to me, man?
Yeah,